am Madam Gracious Kanzieni from Educare, Tanzania. Warmly welcome in our best media Educare TZ, so as you can proceed with our A-level tutorials. My student, here we have our chemistry subject and our class level is Form 5. So we are proceeding with the inorganic chemistry and we are discussing our second subtopic, which is selected compounds of metals. Selected compound of metals. So my students, today we are going to proceed with this concept of metal carbonate and the hydrogen carbonate. But we are going to see another consideration which we have to cover in this section. For instance, today we are going to talk about the preparation. Tushamalizana na classification, very simple. Kwenye classification tumeangalia tu katika soluble na insoluble, and that are the mainly classification of the metal carbonate and the hydrogen carbonate. So now let us look about the preparation of the metal carbonates and the hydrogen carbonate. When we talk about the preparation, simply means that on which way we can prepare now this metal carbonate compound as well as the hydrogen carbonate compound. Jinsi gani tutaandaa hizo compounds. So that is all about the preparation. Anasema kwamba the carbonates and hydrogen carbonates of the sodium and the potassium are only soluble in water. Sasa hapa kama hizi ndo soluble in water, now how we can prepare them? This one are only soluble in water. Kwa nini? Reason ni ile kwamba these are the most reactive metal in the reactivity series. That's why the carbonate and the hydrogen carbonate of this element is soluble in water. It's very reactive metals. Anasema these metal carbonates are prepared by passing carbon dioxide into the solution of strong alkalis as shown in the following reaction. Sasa hapo tunaangalia preparation. For instance, tumeona kwamba the sodium and the potassium ndio ambazo zina bring the strong au zina bring the soluble metal carbonate as well as the hydrogen carbonate. So now anasema kwamba these metal carbonates are prepared by passing carbon dioxide. Ina maana kwamba tunazi prepare kwa kupitisha carbon dioxide into the solution of the strong alkali. Kwamba lazima tuwe na strong alkali. Mfano strong alkali tunaweza tukachukua hizo sodium hydroxide solution. Hiyo ni strong alkali solution au basic solution. Sasa tunachukua hii strong alkali solution, tuna react na carbon dioxide. Once we react it with the carbon dioxide, we are directly preparing the carbonate compound. For instance, hapa tumechukua sodium hydroxide plus carbon dioxide gas. Tumeenda tumepata the sodium carbonate and water molecule. So you can see here how we can prepare this metal carbonate simply by passing the carbon dioxide katika strong alkali solution. Hiyo sio point ya kusahau. Maana reaction tu itakukumbusha nikichukua base, a strong alkali base with the with the carbon dioxide, simply I'm going to get the sodium carbonate. Sasa utaona hapo kwenye sodium carbonate, maana yake kwamba tunarudi kule. Kilichotokea hapa ni kwamba kuna addition, kuna combination ya metal ya sodium lakini pia na huyu carbonate. Kwa hiyo the carbonate ion now amekuwa associated with the metal. That's why tunaita metal carbonate compound. Kwa sababu hapa tuna carbonate lakini pia tuna hii metal. So the formation of this ndipo tunakuja kusema kwamba hii ni baada ya kuchukua reaction kati ya nini? Strong basic or alkali solution with the carbon dioxide. Maana kwamba hii solution tunaipitisha kwa nini? Carbon dioxide gas. Therefore, moja kwa moja tutapata the carbonate metal which is sodium carbonate, but also we release the water molecule as you see here in the reaction. Anasema kwamba when the colorless aqueous solution of sodium carbonate is evaporated, white crystals are formed. And this crystalline sodium carbonate is known as washing soda. Sodium carbonate hii ni kitu ambacho ni kitu inajulikana sana, washing soda. Tunavitumia sana kwa nyumbani kwenye mambo ya bakery. Kwa hiyo utakuja kuona kwamba endapo hii colorless aqueous solution inapokuwa vaporized, maana tuna apply nini? Tuna apply heat. Tuna apply heat inakuwa vaporized, tunaiconvert inaenda kwenye vapor. Anasema kwamba white crystals are formed. Tunaenda kupata kitu kingine ambazo ni hizo white crystals inakuwa katika solid. The white crystals are formed and this crystallized sodium carbonate is known as washing soda. Ndio ile inakuwa katika crystal nature, the crystal nature. So calcium carbonate can also be prepared in the same way. Kwamba tunavyokuja kwenye kesi ya calcium, utakumbuka kwamba calcium tulisema kwamba inakuwa classified katika insoluble carbonate. Lakini when we come into the true of the calcium ni kwamba always ana dissolve kwenye nini? Kwenye water, lakini ni slightly. Kwa hiyo so completely insoluble, no, but ni slightly soluble. It is slightly soluble in water. Na kwa nini hawi categorize katika ile soluble solution? Simply because in soluble solution maana yake kwamba soluble carbonate we expect dissolving it take place completely na clear solution iwe formed. Sasa utakuja kuona kwenye calcium hatengenezi ile clear solution, instead kuna kuwa na zile some suspended particles zinakuwa formed. Therefore that's why tunasema kwamba ana dissolve, lakini ni nini? Slightly. Sasa tunapokuja kwenye preparation now, anasema kwamba it is prepared in the same way kama hawa wengine. Mfano, lazima tuchukue hii solution ya nani? Ya calcium hydroxide. Tukichukua calcium solution ya calcium hydroxide ambayo tunajua kwamba hii ni alkali solution, tunaipass kwenye carbon dioxide gas. Therefore after passing it in the carbon dioxide gas, we are going to get this calcium carbonate which is slightly soluble, but also we are going to get the water molecule. We are going to get the water molecule. So it is prepared in the same way kama zile nyingine, kama zile sodium hydroxide venye anakuwa passing through carbon dioxide kwenda kutengeneza zile most reactive au zile soluble carbonate ambayo ni sodium carbonate. Lakini huyu calcium anakuwa na sifa yake kwamba yeye kwenye issue ya solubility it is slightly soluble. Okay, so the solubility of calcium carbonate in pure water is very low. Solubility of this calcium carbonate in pure water is very low. Why is very low? Ndo tunakuja kule kwenye issue ya nini? Ya solubility. Solubility of this calcium in water, but relatively high in rain water. Sasa tunapokuja kwenye pure water, huyu calcium carbonate tunaambiwa kwamba solubility yake ni ndogo. Ndo pale ambapo anakuwa na dissolve slightly. Anakuwa na dissolve slightly, na maana tunakuwa na slightly soluble. But anasema kwamba relatively high in rainy water which is saturated with the carbon dioxide. Sasa tunapokuja kwenye rainy water, ina maana tunaangalia ile maji ya mvua, ambapo rainy water ni maji direct yanayotoka juu. Sasa ile maji yanakuwa saturated with the what? With this carbon dioxide. Yale maji rainy water inakuwa saturated with the carbon dioxide. So you can see that the reaction between this calcium carbonate or the reaction of this calcium carbonate, anasema kwamba it is relatively highly in rain water. Ina maana kumbe solubility yake ina exceptional. Tunapokuja kwenye solubility of this calcium carbonate au calcium compound, maana yake kwamba kwenye pure water ni slightly, ina maana it is relatively low. But when we come into the issue of the rain water, you can see that the solubility of this calcium carbonate is relatively high. Why? Because this rain water, it is saturated with the carbon dioxide. There is a saturation of carbon dioxide. Therefore, it facilitates also the solubility of this calcium carbonate. Kwa hiyo hiyo ndio exceptionality iliyopo katika hii reaction ya calcium carbonate. Kwa hivyo tunapokuja kwenye pure water, solubility yake ni very low, but when we come into the rain water is different. Rain water is saturated, or it's made up of saturated carbon dioxide. Therefore, solubility of this calcium carbonate is relatively high. So my student, you have to understand that kwamba tunapokuja kwenye solubility ya calcium carbonate kwamba it is relatively high kwenye rain water only, but it is relatively small in the pure water. So my student, after discussing this, we can wind here as our first case or first part of our discussion. Stay tuned so as you can proceed with the next second part of our discussion. Thank you.